Next thing that Tamara wanted was lash application. And I am terrible at lash application. I always use a lash clamp because otherwise it becomes a big, giant disaster. So I'm going to attempt this, and if it looks terrible, I apologize. But Tamara, I am probably no better at this than you are. And I think you've got a lash clamp, so definitely use it. It makes things easier, but it's still not easy. Um, so I am using these Kiss Juicy Volume 2 lashes, and the style is KPE 13. They look like this. These are the most natural looking lashes that I have in my collection at the moment. You should also check to make sure that it's a good size for your eye. I have fairly long eyes, so I very rarely have to cut a lash to fit it. But what you can just do is just, once you take it out of the pack, stick it on your eye. It's a little bit sticky anyway. Place it and see if it is a good size for your eye. So this, for me, fits pretty perfectly. If it's too long, if you need to trim it from the ends. And I would recommend trimming both lashes at the same time to make sure that they're the same length. I don't have to trim, so I'm just going to stick this in my lash clamp here. Play with it so that just a little bit of the what is this called? The, this thingy, the edge, is sticking out. I like to use Duo Lash Adhesive in clear. It also comes in dark. I always make a mess with my lashes. It's very rare that I get them on my lash line in the first try, and I usually end up with dots of glue on my eyelid. That's why I prefer clear, because it's easier to hide. So stick a little bit of this glue on here. I usually concentrate at the ends, get extra glue there because you really want them to stick down there. And then just a fairly thin line. Just pull this edge up a little bit. Try to not get glue on the lash clamp because if you do, it will stick to your eye and it will make things a lot more difficult. And then I usually let it sit for about 30 seconds or so, maybe longer, before I try to attach this to my eye. It goes on my left eye. Sorry. Make sure you put it on the correct eye. So I'm just gonna wait for it. Blow on it if you want to. If you have any other aspects of your makeup that you'd like to complete, you can do that in the meantime. I have, finished eyeliner or done my eyebrows or put on mascara or lipstick while I'm waiting, kind of to keep me busy so I don't kind of jump the gun and try to put this on too soon. You can kind of tell the glue will change color a little bit when it dries. Um, so once it starts to change kind of color or consistency, then you can put it on. I'm just adding a little bit more. So I think it's okay to try to put this on now. The glue, it kind of turns from clear or from white to a more, it starts to change to turning to clear. So once you see it starts to change, then go ahead and try to put it on. What helps me is because my eyelashes are curled up, I have a hard time seeing my lash line. So I actually stretch my eye out gently, not too hard, and look down. I have a mirror right in front of me. If you want, you can use a magnifying mirror, which I think I will do. And then I'm going to look down, stretch my eye, and then try to place this as best I can on my lash line. And then I'm going to hold it there. Push it down and hold it. Maybe count to 10. Or a little longer if you want to. and then unclamp it and let go. And then it's on. You can see it's made a little bit of a white mess on my face. If it didn't stick where you wanted it to, you can use your fingers to place it back, or you can use tweezers, which I can't do because I don't have a pair of flat edge tweezers or even angled tweezers. All of my tweezers are those super fine points, and those do not work for applying lashes. So usually I just use my fingers and place it back. Lots of times I glue on my lower lash line, wipe it off. I don't have a Q-tip in my possession right now, so I'm just going to take this damp paper towel that I have and just kind of wipe that glue off there. Sometimes I pinch, like I stick my finger at the base of my underneath my lashes, my thumb, and then I stick my pointer finger right at my lash line, and then I pinch the strip of the lash to my lash line. You just have to do what works for you to get these things on as best you can. Everybody has their own technique. That is probably fairly decent for me. You can see the white glue is there. It's gonna dry clear. So let's give that some time to dry while I put the other lash on. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply this one now. Again, I'm gonna kind of stretch my eye out gently, look in my magnifying mirror, move my wig hair out of the way, and apply it as close to the lash line as possible. Stick it in there and count to whatever you think is appropriate, and then unclamp. Use your fingers to correct it if necessary. Hold it in place. Use my little pinching technique if you think it'll help. Then once they're in place, let them be. You don't want to touch them because you want them to set. This one has a lot of extra glue on it because, like I said, I really jacked up putting glue on these, but it's okay. It'll dry clear and you can cover it up with liner. So while that one's drying, I'm going to go ahead and fix up the liner on this eye since it's pretty much dry. Same liquid liner that we used before. And just kind of neatly reapply it over the strip and then clean up your line above it. There you go. That one's all cleaned up. I did find it necessary to bring the liner into the inner corner to kind of straighten out that line, but you know, you work with what you got. While this one's drying, I'll probably do my brows. So the lash glue is pretty much dry on here. You can tell there's a lot more glue on this one than there was on that one. So I'm going to take that same liquid liner and clean it up. Just like literally take this and just color over the glue. Turn it black. Or kind of gray, which is better than white. And then clean up your liner line. Even it up with the other side. And there you have it. You have your green smoky-ish eye using the Too Faced Liquify palette with lashes. So Tamara, I hope that this was helpful for you and anybody else who stuck it out. I hope that it was helpful for you also and that you enjoyed it, and feel free to comment on it, what you liked, what you don't like, any recommendations you have for me or for my cousin. And I will see you guys all soon. Bye.